Welcome to another Explainer. Today, we're jumping straight into a massive global crisis, water scarcity, and we're looking at how something unbelievably small might actually be exactly what saves us. We're talking about cutting-edge nanotechnology, specifically nanofertilizers, and how they might just be the key to engineering the future of agricultural water conservation.
Okay, let's look at a pretty staggering number right out of the gate. Picture all the fresh water in the entire world. Now imagine agriculture just swallowing up a massive 70% of it. It's a huge piece of the pie. And the really frustrating part, a lot of that water is completely lost because of highly inefficient irrigation practices. We are literally pouring our most precious resource into the dirt faster than the planet can replenish it.
So with those inefficient practices driving these enormous water losses, the absolute crucial question we have to ask ourselves is this: can we somehow maintain or maybe even increase our crop yields while drastically cutting down on our water use? I know, it sounds like an impossible paradox, right? But the research we're unpacking today actually points to a resounding yes.
Section 1. The Global Water Crisis: Why Farming is Thirsty.
To understand the fix, you have to look at the stark contrast between how we've been farming and how we could be farming. You see, conventional fertilizers just dissolve way too quickly. When a farmer applies them, a massive chunk of those nutrients simply washes away. And to compensate for that loss, farmers are essentially forced to over-irrigate. They have to keep pumping water just to make sure the plant gets enough food. But nanofertilizers, they offer a controlled nutrient release. They don't just wash away, which dramatically drops the need for that constant heavy watering.
Section 2. Enter nanofertilizers: Microscopic Solutions.
So by engineering nutrients way down at the nanoscale, we create these incredibly advanced nanofertilizers. And this isn't just about, feeding the plant better. It's about fundamentally changing how the plant interacts with its environment. Because they offer that controlled release and much better uptake, plants are suddenly able to utilize water way more effectively. The end result here is that they produce higher yields with significantly less irrigation, all while becoming naturally more tolerant to drought conditions.
Section 3. How nanofertilizers save water: Mechanisms of action.
The source material actually outlines 7 distinct mechanisms for exactly how these nanofertilizers save water. We're going to dive into several of these in detail, but what's really fascinating here is that it takes the plant on a complete journey. We're talking everything from helping it physically find deeper water sources, to changing how the soil behaves, to literally helping the plant survive severe droughts internally. Let's look at the roots first. Applying specific nanoparticles, like zinc oxide and iron-based nanofertilizers, actually stimulates the roots to grow longer, denser, and with way more root hairs. This boosted root biomass means the plant can naturally penetrate deeper into the soil layers. So instead of relying on constant watering at the surface, the plant taps into moisture hidden deep underground completely naturally.
And this really shows why precision matters so much. Traditional fertilizers tend to move way past the root zone when they get watered, a process called leaching. That doesn't just waste fertilizer, it forces the farmer to dump even more water on top to push new nutrients down. But nanofertilizers stay hyper-localized right around the roots. Since the food stays exactly where it's needed, farmers don't have to keep flooding the soil. Plus, as a huge bonus, it stops all those excess nutrients from seeping into and contaminating our groundwater. But hey, what happens when water gets genuinely scarce? Well, this is where it gets downright sci-fi. Nanofertilizers actually alter the plant's physiological response to water stress. They can boost the plant's chlorophyll content, amp up its antioxidant activity to fight off stress, and even help it regulate its stomata. Those tiny little pores in the leaves? Essentially, they hack the plant's biology so it keeps growing and producing even when it's completely parched.
Actually, we can even skip the soil entirely. Remember number 7 on that earlier list of mechanisms? Foliar application. That just means spraying the nanofertilizers directly onto the leaves. The plant takes the nutrients right up through those stomata pores. By doing this, we bypass the need for soil moisture to transport the food completely. And less reliance on soil moisture means, you guessed it, significantly lower irrigation needs.
Section 4. Smart Tech and Hydrogels: Building Smarter Soil.
Okay, imagine microscopic sensors scattered all throughout the soil in a field. These nanosensors are out there constantly monitoring soil moisture, nutrient levels, temperature, and even early signs of plant stress, all in real time. This paves the way for absolute precision irrigation. It completely eliminates overwatering because the automated water systems only kick on when the microscopic conditions demand it.
Then you throw nanohydrolgels into the mix. Think of these as tiny, super-absorbent sponges sitting right next to the roots. When it rains, or the automated irrigation runs, these hydrogels soak up massive quantities of water and just hold on to it. Then, during a dry spell, they slowly and gradually drip that stored water straight to the plant. They act like miniature, personal water reservoirs.
Now you might be wondering, is all this tech actually safe for the Earth? Well, researchers are ensuring it absolutely is. They're developing incredibly sustainable versions called chitosan-based nanofertilizers. Chitosan is a natural material, and when you combine it with nanomaterials like zinc oxide, iron phosphate, or titanium dioxide, you get a fertilizer that is fully biodegradable and totally eco-friendly. Plus, these specific composites are absolute game changers for holding on to soil moisture.
So if we trace the evolution of water efficiency, it looks a bit like this. Conventional fertilizer gives you pretty low efficiency and notoriously high irrigation demands. If you move up to slow release, that helps a bit, but jump to nanofertilizers and efficiency skyrockets while water needs drop. But the real magic, that happens when you combine a nanofertilizer with a nanohydrogel. That specific combo yields the absolute highest water use efficiency with the lowest possible irrigation requirement. But what does lowest possible actually mean for a real-world farmer? Well, research reports indicate that this specific combination of technologies can slash a farm's irrigation water requirement by a staggering 20 to 50%. Just put that into perspective for a second. Think back to that 70% of global freshwater swallowed by agriculture we talked about earlier. Cutting that by up to half, depending on the crop and climate, that is a literal world-changing metric.
Section 5. The Future of Farming, Macro-Scale Impacts.
Look, the farm of the future won't just use one of these tools in isolation. We're looking at fully integrated, climate-smart agricultural systems. We're talking about fields where IoT soil moisture sensors constantly talk to AI-based irrigation controls. Those controls then manage the exact hydration of the nanohydrogels in the soil, all while drones fly overhead, delivering highly targeted foliar nanofertilizer sprays exactly where and only where the plants actually report a need. It's just an incredible symphony of technology designed to maximize our food production while fiercely protecting our fresh water.
So by completely reimagining how we deliver nutrients, how we interact with the soil, and how we manage water right down to the molecular level, it really begs a massive question. Is the immense planetary challenge of global food security going to be solved at the microscopic level? The research certainly points that way. It's a truly fascinating paradigm shift, proving that sometimes the biggest solutions to our biggest problems are so small we can't even see them. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and definitely keep your eyes peeled for the incredibly small things changing our very big world.